Welcome to the Airbnb Roadmap, the podcast designed to navigate you through the entire journey of short-term rental success. Whether you're just starting out or ready to take your hosting game to the next level. My husband and I became Superhost within just months of launching our first Airbnb and have proudly kept that title ever since. With over 350 reviews and an overall 4.95 star ratings, we picked up a hack or two I'm excited to share with you. In each episode, I break down the strategies, insights, and industry secrets that set profitable short-term rentals apart. From choosing the right property, understanding local regulations, and obtaining your listing to go beyond just the basics. I'm here to share everything you need to succeed. So if you're ready to map out your path to Airbnb success and unlock the full potential of short-term rentals, join me on the Airbnb Roadmap. Your journey starts here. Hey, I'm Brittany Wenninger, and welcome to another episode of the Airbnb Roadmap. So let's just talk about another life update. Newborn schedules are not a thing. I really thought that once little Melanie was born, I would be able to continue on with the podcast episodes of recording on a certain day and time. Yeah, no, I was absolutely ridiculous. So now I'm just recording when I can. But yeah, newborn schedules are just they're all over the place, and nap times are all over the place, feeding times all over the place. So yeah, my life update is life is chaotic. Newborns are not easy, and I have a newfound respect for any single mom, honestly any mom in general, but this baby is attached to me on the hip. I'm literally holding her while recording this episode, praying that she does not wake up because she is in a deep slumber right now. So again, newfound respect to all moms. I respect Mother's Day way more now. Sorry, Mom, for not respecting you as much as I should have, because you worked your ass off raising me, so I appreciate you. Anyways, if you have not heard yet, we are launching the newest Airbnb Roadmap Acceleration course. This course is not costing you an arm and leg because I truly just do not believe in it. So check it out if you are wanting to launch your very first Airbnb. This is how you do it without spending a lot of money. But let's actually get into the episode, shall we? So this is a milestone that a lot of new hosts have their eye on, and that is the Superhost status. If you're just launching your Airbnb and you're in the first few months, this is something that you want to know how to hit from the beginning, because it can seriously impact how well your listing performs from the start, and honestly throughout the whole time that it's on Airbnb. So let's actually break it down. What does a Superhost status mean? We'll talk about how you qualify, the benefits that come from it, and most importantly, how do you actually earn it starting from day one. So Superhost is Airbnb's way of recognizing top performing hosts. It's like their little gold seal of approval that says you're doing something right and keep it going. Also, while I record this, if you hear little tiny squeaks, that is 100% Melanie, and you just have to accept it, because I don't know how to edit out the squeaks, and I kind of think that the squeaks are cute. So just know that the little squeaks are little Melanie. So she's just trying to say hi to you. All right, that was such a side note, and I apologize. But let's actually keep on going with the Superhost stuff. So when you do get the Superhost status, you will see a badge on your profile and your listing. It tells the guest that, hey, this is not your first rodeo. I am a professional in this field, and I know exactly how to treat you right. That, the communication is well, you are keeping your place clean and providing great experience overall. And Airbnb doesn't just hand that title out, you have to earn it. My husband and I actually earned this badge since the very first time that we actually, are able to earn it. So I'll get into this a little bit further, but they do provide the Superhost status every quarter. So when you first launch your Airbnb, you will have 3 months to prove that you are qualified for the Superhost status, and then you'll get that badge. So you won't get it from day one. You'll get it 3 months from the day that you launch. And this is something that my husband and I actually succeeded at. we have kept our Superhost status since day one. There's only one quarter that we did not earn it. And there's a whole story with that. And I'll tell you at the very end of this podcast episode. But yes, there's only one quarter, and we have been doing this for years and years. So here's what it takes to actually become a Superhost. There are 4 main criteria you need to meet in order to qualify for the Superhost status. First, you need to have an overall rating of 4.8 stars or higher, averaged over the past 12 months. That means almost every guest you host has to leave a 5-star review. A single 3-star or even a 4-star review can bring your average down. So consistency is key. And that's why when you first launch, you need to pay attention to the overall experience, the cleanliness, and the whole shebang very closely, because the less stars you have, the more impact the 4 stars and the 3 stars will have. Now, if you have 300 5-star reviews and you get a 4-star review, it doesn't hurt it as much. But from the start, it will hurt it a lot. So that's why you need to really pay attention to the quality of your Airbnb. Next, you need to host at least 10 completed stays or 3 longer term stays totaling 100 nights. So even if you're hosting for part of the year, if you've got just a few guests staying longer, that can still count. Third, your cancellation rate must be below 1%. Airbnb really doesn't want hosts canceling on guests unless it's an absolute emergency. Even if one host initiated cancellation, could disqualify you. So for this part of it, honestly, we've never actually had to cancel on someone, but sometimes a guest will say like, hey, I need to cancel this day. Do not ever cancel it on their behalf. They need to cancel the stay themselves. Even if, you kind of mess up on your end and they say, I want to get out of this property, make sure that they are still canceling. Do not cancel. That is a huge part of it. And then the 4th requirement, you need to respond to at least 90% of your new messages within 24 hours. That means being on top of your inbox, especially those first-time inquiries. Airbnb uses this to measure how reliable you are as a host. Automations will do you justice for this one. And even in my automations, I say, this is an auto text, and I have the computer send this out the second that I get a message. So our response rate is always 100%. Thank you, automation. But as for the Airbnb timing, Airbnb evaluates hosts every quarter. So on January 1st, April 1st, July 1st, and October 1st. So if you meet all 4 criteria by the time one of those dates roll around, you'll be awarded the Superhost status, and your badge will show up on your listing shortly after. So what do you actually get for being a Superhost status? It's more than just a badge, to be honest. First, your listing actually gets prioritized in Airbnb search results. So you want to be on that number 1 page, because most people don't go on page 2 or 3 or 4. Honestly, when you go on Google, how many times have you gone on page 2? I will admit, I don't think I've ever actually gone on page 2, which is quite wild. I think I might do it after this podcast, but I never go on page 2. And Airbnb, some people will honestly go on page 2 because the listings are really cool, but overall, you want to be on page 1. The algorithm really actually favors listings with higher rankings and a stronger hosting performance, so your visibility increases. Second, the badge itself acts as a trust signal. Guests are more likely to book when they see it, especially those who filter their search to show only Superhost. Yes, that's a thing. They can filter your search for only Superhost because they want that reliability. You also get, and this is a fun one, you also get $100 travel coupon each year as a little thank you from Airbnb. Plus, occasionally they'll give you early access to new features and tools before they roll it out to anyone else. But in my experience, the biggest reward is simply you get more bookings and you can charge more for them. So let's actually talk some strategy with this. And there are a lot of tips and tricks that you can actually do to help out with the Superhost status. So how do you actually become Superhost right from the start of launching your Airbnb? First, you want to create a strong guest experience from the moment your listing goes live. That means spotless cleaning, clear communication, setting accurate expectations in your listing description. The fastest way to hit that 10-stay minimum is to actually make sure that you are not charging boohoo bucks for your listing from the get-go. You want to actually charge your nightly stays at a very competitive price and maybe even lower than your competition, because you need to have the guests in there from the start. And people like low prices, especially if your Airbnb is really cool and it's low in price. Why wouldn't people stay there? Now, once you get enough reviews and your credibility is good, then you can start upping your price and actually have it either what it needs to be or even higher, because you already built that credibility and people will trust your listing. Next, communication is huge. I recommend automating as much as you can. Use scheduled messages for things like check-in instructions, mid-stay check-ins, or thank you messages. Make your guests feel supported and welcome from the very beginning. So then for this one, just like I mentioned, we have an auto message that right when someone sends an inquiry, we have a message that says, "Thank you so much for reaching out. I will get to your question as soon as possible. This is an auto message, blah, blah, blah." In my course, I will give you all of our auto messages that have guaranteed us Superhost status every single time. So you will get that in the course. And then also, never cancel on a guest unless it's absolutely unavoidable. A single host initiated cancellation could kill your Superhost chances. So never cancel on a guest. And don't be afraid to actually ask for reviews at the end. Again, I have messages that kind of say like, "Hey, leave us a review," but in a very nice and professional way, obviously. But you'll be surprised how many people are willing to leave you one if you just remind them that reviews are very important. And you'll leave them a review if they leave you a review. Now, let's actually be real. Does Superhost status really matter? There's some talk out there that says Superhost status does not matter whatsoever. In my opinion, they are 100% wrong, and the Superhost status matters a lot, especially when you're just starting out. It builds instant trust, especially for guests who are nervous about booking a new listing. When they see the badge, they know you've delivered a great experience before, and that's often all they need to hit that book button. Now just think, whenever you go on Zillow, you're constantly comparing houses with the prices, and obviously on Zillow, you can see how many people love that listing and so on and so forth. That is actually what they are doing on your Airbnb listing. And if yours has that Superhost status while another one doesn't, you're way more likely to win that booking. Even if the nightly rates is a little higher, it positions you as a professional host. And in this business, reputation equals revenue. So I'm sure by now you are still asking or even wondering, why didn't we get the Superhost status for one quarter? What happened so badly that we did not get it? Because we were so consistent the whole entire time. And here is the story. So for all of our listings, we do say that you have to be 25 years or older to book. We are in the state of Wisconsin, so we can do that. If you are in another state, you might not be able to do this. So you want to make sure to check this. But we had someone reach out. She's like, "I'm so excited to stay at, your property, blah, blah, blah." And then she booked. Cool. Well, she then said, "Oh, I see that you have to be 25 years or older to book. I'm 19. Can I still book?" And I said, "Sorry, unfortunately, we have a strict rule with this. You have to be 25 years or older to book." And she went off the wire. She canceled the stay, which is good. Like, she canceled, we didn't. But she was like, "This is age discrimination. you can't do this. You are discriminating against, my age. And I know I already said that, but she kept on saying it. And I was like, hey, sorry, this is how it is. We, just kind of like renting a car. You have to be 25 years or older. And then she reported us to Airbnb. Well, Airbnb did not like that and did a good old mark on our profile and was like, hey, you can't say that, you can only allow 25 years or older on your listing. Like, that's against the rules. We're going to mark your profile, kind of like give you a little nick. And I was like, whoa. Everyone, calm down. I know other people on the platform are doing this. Why aren't they getting in trouble? And nowhere in the Airbnb policy says that we can't do this. So what the heck? So I called Airbnb and I said, hey, we can do this. Other people are doing this. And this is not age discrimination, because if you rent a car, they do the same thing. Why are we different than renting a car? And then Airbnb said that they would look into it. Well, I took it upon myself to actually look into it further. And I sent them the documents saying that Wisconsin, you can pretty much have 25 years or older, or any certain age that you want or older, and it's not age discrimination. So I sent those documents to Airbnb and they dropped all the charges. So we do not have any nicks on our profile, which is awesome because I don't like having a negative report. But they dropped the nick on our profile, but unfortunately they did not give us the Superhost status for that quarter because someone reported us. Now, did we do anything wrong? Absolutely not. This girl was just a little chaotic, a little pissed off 19-year-old, and overall she just had a little hissy fit and reported us. And since she did, Airbnb was like, ooh, sorry, you don't get Superhost. So that was very unfortunate because we didn't even do anything wrong. But that is the story of how we didn't get the Superhost status for one quarter just because of someone saying age discrimination. So there you have it. Becoming a Superhost from day one is absolutely needed and possible. And again, not to do another plug, but I will teach you even further how to do this in my course and make sure that you are getting the Superhost status, that you have a flawless setup, no cancellations, and stacking on those 5-star reviews. So if this is something that you are interested in, look at the show notes and there's a link to my course. But overall, if you have any questions about this week's podcast episode, make sure to DM me on Instagram at the Airbnb Roadmap Podcast. And I would love to answer your questions and also cheer you on. So till next time, I will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me on the Airbnb Roadmap. If you're loving these episodes and want to keep the conversation going, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with someone who's ready to dive into the world of short-term rentals. Got a question or topic you would love to hear about? Reach out. This podcast is all about learning and growing together. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the Airbnb Roadmap Podcast, for more tips, tricks, and behind-the-scene insights. Until next time, here's to turning your short-term rental dreams into thriving realities. I'll see you back here soon.